Tonight, learn more about Troy's pet policy, plus one organization walks for a good cause. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for April 18, 2014. I'm Courtney Addison. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University is constantly making changes and upgrades, but one of the newest campus policies is affecting our furry friends and starting some controversy. Yana Weezer has more.
The new no pet policy on campus brought up a lot of discussions. Pets are no longer allowed on the core campus, but are still allowed on the perimeters.
I think it's a good policy. Anytime you have a large congregation of people like we have on campus here, there are a lot of people that are afraid of pets, and whether they're on a leash or not, sometimes it's unnerving to people to be around them. So I think we have to have a policy that kind of, it allows for pets on campus, but in certain areas, but it also helps those that are afraid of the animals.
Even though there has not been an incident with a dog attack, there have been times when students and staff felt threatened by pets on campus.
We've had a couple of incidents where, not where they've actually been bit, but where dogs have jumped on people, knocked them down. We had an elderly lady knocked down one time by a dog that was not on a leash. And we've had dogs that have actually come up to people that were terrified of them, actually, not just afraid of them, they were terrified of them, and they were not on leashes and stuff.
While most Troy students do understand why pets are now banned from campus, they still wish that the student service would reconsider their guidelines.
I don't really agree with it. I enjoy the animals being on campus, especially when you come out of class. If you're stressed out, you see a dog on campus, it makes it better. I just recently got a dog, and we would go sit on campus every day just on the quad, and it was really relaxing.
I honestly don't think it's very necessary. I can understand that some people are afraid of dogs, but that's one reason there are leash laws. I think if you've got your dog on campus on a leash, there shouldn't be a problem. If it's mainly because of the fear of dogs, I think the leash law should just be fine, rather than keeping them off of campus altogether.
Service and therapeutic dogs are excluded from the new policy. Yana Weezer, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, pets are not allowed on Troy's core campus, but they are allowed on the perimeters. And Troy University organizations work hard year-round to help out fellow Trojans. And tomorrow, Tau Beta Sigma and Kappa Kappa Psi are holding their 13th annual Step for Life 5K and Step Show, benefiting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The 5K will begin tomorrow at 7:30 in front of Smith Hall, and it's not too late to sign up. You can still register by tomorrow at 7:15. The registration fee is $35, and the Step Show will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in the Claudia Crosby Theater. If you'd like to participate in the Step Show, you can do so by picking up a form from any Tau Beta Sigma sister. The registration fee is $60, but this annual event holds a special place in many Trojan hearts.
It all started in 2001 when a brother of Kappa Kappa Psi became diagnosed with leukemia, and they began to do this to try to help pay his medical bills. Well, he passed away before the first event, but they continued to do it. And then every year they continued to do it, and this year we have started a 5K to help benefit the Step Show.
Once again, the events will be tomorrow at 7:30. And Troy University is made up of a variety of people, from students to faculty and staff, and some of those have very interesting stories to tell. And throughout the month of April, we're going to take a look at some of those individuals in our Trojan Profile series. Today, Rebecca Lynch introduces us to one student whose journey is to find his true passion at Troy.
Students come from near and far to study and pursue their dreams here at Troy University. Some even have hopes of becoming professional athletes, but the road is not easy. When all you ever wanted to do was be a professional athlete, how do you put down your cleats and think of something else to do with your future?
Well, basically got here maybe a whole lot longer than your average students. I've been here about seven or so years. Yeah, basically like Troy's version of Van Wilder, except a little bit smarter. But
with football dreams on the back burner, he moved on.
Originally came here from Kadena High School in Okinawa, Japan. Kadena Air Force Base is basically like a Department of Defense dependent schools where military dependents go to school if your parents are active duty and stationed overseas.
Coming back home excited him.
Going over there was a bit of a culture shock, but I guess the bigger culture shock was actually stepping foot back on this campus back in the United States of America after having been gone.
It wasn't long before he found his niche.
Helps with new student orientation. It was big. I felt pretty comfortable because of the fact that I had once been in that same situation, although I had not come through the international department. And I actually met my girlfriend, who's also an exchange student from Spain, so it felt like it was a good opportunity to work with students with the similar background.
Over time, he found more than one spot he fit in.
I guess the biggest impact would have to be education, because if you can teach somebody something, you can basically learn anything and teach them whatever that is.
Daniel will be graduating from Troy this December. This is Rebecca White, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Keep watching throughout the month of April for more of our Trojan Profile series. And now taking a look at news from around the state, Greene County's bingo parlors are reopening following a raid by state authorities. The sheriff says the businesses may resume operations. State Police and Attorney General Luther Strange's office seized more than 1,300 gaming machines and nearly $117,000 from 3 bingo parlors over the past 2 weeks. And in North Alabama's school system has enrolled an immigrant student who was initially denied the admission in a Montgomery-based Southern Poverty Law Center. Says Fort Payne High Schools allowed the Mexican-born 17-year-old to begin attending classes after he was turned away twice from Fort Payne High School. And in Bessemer, police say an inmate accused of stabbing another man and kidnapping his wife has been found dead in the Bessemer City Jail. The deputy police chief says the 26-year-old inmate was found dead in his cell early yesterday morning after hanging himself. And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, Mother Nature is playing tricks with the Trojan sports teams, including postponing the softball team's doubleheader this afternoon. Danielle Percival will be in with an updated schedule for the Trojans when she joins us with sports. And now Danielle Percival joins us with sports. So Danielle, Mother Nature is not faring too well right now in Troy. It's been raining all day long. How is that affecting the sports teams?
Well, it's affecting both the teams that are in action in Troy as well as some of those that are on the road. We'll get into a look at the updated schedule for all the teams in action this weekend here in sports. The women's golf team celebrated 2 titles this week with a conference championship and an individual conference title as well. The individual championship was won by Fatima Fernandez-Cano, a freshman from Spain. She was tied at the top of the leaderboard following the first round, but followed that up with some struggles in the second round. Cano was 6 over at the turn and ended the day tied for 4th and 2 strokes over. In the final round, though, Cano claimed the individual title with a win on the first playoff hole. Now, despite playing herself back into consideration for the title, there were some nerves heading into that last hole. Head coach Bart Barnes tried to ease her nerves before that championship deciding moment.
For me, it was just that was what I was wanting to do. Keep her relaxed, told her a little joke, keep the mood light, told her to trust herself and focus on her routine. If she does that, she's going to be fine.
I was really nervous, and he knew that, so he was just trying to tell me to just breathe and do my routine and do it as I know that I knew how to do it. Just he was trying to get me relaxed, and he really helped there because I was really nervous and he knew that. So he just told me, hey, do your routine and do the things that you do, you'll be fine.
The women are now preparing for a trip to the NCAA tournament, which will begin on May 8th. Well, the baseball team will be back on the road in the Battle of the Trojans at Arkansas Little Rock over the weekend. Troy is coming off having won their last conference series against Western Kentucky. Little Rock enters the series with a 3-12 Sun Belt record and 14-20 overall. However, that does look a little better at home where they are 11-6. But for head coach Bobby Pierce, the key for the Trojans of Troy this weekend is just finishing out the games.
Can't assume anything at this point. We've got to go to play 9 innings. Our team is just starting to figure out how to do that. So obviously on the road against a team that's given us trouble in the past, that's going to be number 1, playing all 9 innings.
These 2 teams are scheduled to begin the first game tonight at 6 p.m. And they will have a 3-game series with Game 2 Saturday at 4 and the Sunday finale at 1. Well, as we mentioned before, the Trojan softball team was scheduled to begin their final homestand of the season today against Louisiana Lafayette with a doubleheader, but those games have been postponed due to the weather. Now those games have been moved to Saturday with first pitch of the doubleheader at noon. And the teams were scheduled for a 3-game series with a doubleheader today and 1 game tomorrow. Those accommodations were made because of Easter weekend, but no final word has been given about the status of the series finale. The Trojans' record against the Ragin' Cajuns is only 4-25 all-time, including being swept last season. The Trojans do have 7 home games remaining on the schedule. Mother Nature has also altered the track and field team's schedule. The team is on the road this weekend for the final road meet of the season in Auburn, but a meet that was scheduled to take place over 2 days has now been pushed back to take place tomorrow. The team is taking part in the War Eagle Invitational, and this marks the second time the Trojans have competed at Hutzel-Rosen Track this season. Hayes Grissom is coming off winning the men's javelin at South Alabama last weekend and will be competing in the event tomorrow morning. On the women's side in the field events, Karina Cox will be competing in the discus competition Saturday and is currently ranked nationally and in second in the conference in the event. The Trojans will only have one more meet left in the regular season, which will be the Coach O Invitational at home next weekend. And 4 sophomores for the Trojan tennis teams combined for 5 Sunbelt All-Conference selections. For the men's team, Gabriel Siaka Diaz was a first-team selection, posting a 13-9 singles record this season, while teammate Daniel Bustamante was a second-team pick. On the women's side, Trang Hyun was also a first-team selection with a 17-4 record in singles play, and Anya Kosovic took a second-team spot with a 17-3 record. The 2 women also combined to be honored as a first-team doubles selection, only losing 2 matches all season in doubles play. The Sunbelt Conference Tennis Championships began today with both Trojan teams slated to play today, but Mother Nature also delayed the start of that tournament. Up first for the men is UT Arlington, while the women were taking on Texas State. The women were able to survive in advance after a rally by the Bobcats. The women took a 4-3 decision and will now move on in the bracket to take on Georgia State tomorrow morning. So, Courtney, as you can see, Mother Nature has just been playing havoc with the Trojan teams, not knowing when you're going to start, if you're going to get to play today. So be sure to stay updated to all the changes. You can tune in to Trojan Sports Now, and you can also look online at TroyTrojans.com. Try and stay updated. But if you're in town, maybe you can head out and see the softball team in action tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it'll clear up.
Absolutely, and hopefully Nick will have good news whenever he joins us with weather a little later. And hopefully we can get this rain out of our area and bring some sunshine in, and we can actually enjoy watching these girls play ball. I know they're excited to use that new facility and actually get to enjoy it and see it with some sunshine.
Absolutely, we'll hope so.
Thanks so much, Danielle.